Have you ever walked into a room full of people and felt completely invisible? You're speaking English perfectly well, but nobody seems to be listening. It's that frustrating moment when everyone gathers around one person and you're left wondering what they have that you don't. Oh, I know that feeling far too well. It leaves you feeling a bit deflated and wondering if your English is the problem. But here's the good news. Today we're giving you 7 powerful conversation patterns that will turn you into a true center of influence. It's like discovering a magic trick for your speaking skills. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to make people hang on your every word in English. These patterns are practical, easy to remember, and they work in any situation from job interviews to dinner parties. Let's dive straight into the first one and start building your influence today.
Welcome to Speak Fluent English Lab, where learning to speak fluent English feels simple and fun. I'm David.
I'm Lena.
Alright, our first trick is called the Curiosity Catalyst. This pattern is all about asking the kind of questions that make the other person feel truly special and interesting.
Yes, instead of talking about yourself straight away, you shine the light on them. Smart speakers use phrases like, "What made you get into that line of work?" Or, "I'd love to hear the story behind that decision you made." It keeps the conversation flowing naturally and effortlessly.
I tried this at a recent business lunch. I asked the person next to me what inspired his latest project, and he ended up chatting for nearly 20 minutes. By the end, he was asking for my contact details, and we've stayed in touch ever since. It felt absolutely brilliant.
Haha, that's the beauty of it. When you show genuine curiosity in English, the other person feels valued and they automatically start liking you more. It creates this lovely cycle of connection without you having to push at all.
And the best part is it takes the pressure off you completely. You don't need to be the funniest or the most knowledgeable person in the room. You just need to be the one who makes everyone else feel important. That's how you quietly become the center of influence.
It really is that simple once you start practicing it regularly. You'll notice people seeking you out more and more. Now let's move on to something that builds instant rapport in seconds.
Okay, here's one that secretly levels up your conversations. It's called the Common Ground Connector, and it helps you find shared interests in seconds.
This one is fantastic for those awkward first moments when you're not sure what to say. You listen for something the other person mentions and then you connect it to your own experience. Try saying, "That's so interesting because I had something similar happen when I was working in London last year." Or, "No way, you love hiking too? I thought I was the only one obsessed with it."
I used this at a conference last month with someone from a completely different industry. We discovered we both hated small talk, and suddenly the whole conversation opened up beautifully. We ended up swapping stories for ages, and I left with a new contact who's now a good friend.
It works because finding common ground creates an instant bond that feels natural and warm. In English, it shows you're paying attention and that you're on the same wavelength. People feel safe and connected with you, which is the foundation of real influence.
Exactly. It turns strangers into allies in under a minute. And your English starts feeling so much more natural and enjoyable. Once you master this, your conversations will flow without any awkward silences.
Brilliant. Now we're getting into slightly braver territory with the next pattern that builds real trust fast.
Next one's simple but powerful. We're talking about the vulnerability vault. This is where you share a little bit of your own story to build trust fast and deeply.
The key is to share something honest but appropriate for the situation. You might say, "Honestly, I used to struggle with public speaking in English too." Or, "Between you and me, I was really nervous before this meeting started." It shows you're human and relatable in the best possible way.
I remember doing this in a team meeting once. I admitted I'd completely messed up my first big presentation in English. And everyone laughed and started sharing their own disasters. The whole atmosphere changed, and suddenly I felt like part of the inner circle. It was such a relief.
That's the power of it. When you open up a little in English, it gives others permission to do the same. It creates emotional connection and trust, which is essential if you want to influence people positively and lastingly.
Just remember to keep it light and positive when you share. You're not dumping problems on them at all. You're showing that everyone makes mistakes, and that's what makes us human and approachable. It's a game changer for building real relationships.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about something that makes people feel truly amazing around you every single time.
Alright, Our next trick is a phrase that quietly makes you sound like a leader. This is the praise power-up, and it's all about giving specific, genuine compliments that land perfectly.
Instead of a generic "well done," you get specific and thoughtful. Say things like, "I was really impressed by how you handled that difficult client in the meeting yesterday." Or, "You have such a talent for explaining complex ideas so clearly in English." It feels sincere and memorable.
I saw this work wonders with a junior colleague last month. I praised the way she organized the project timeline so cleverly, and her whole face lit up with pride. She started coming to me with ideas, and her confidence grew so much. It was lovely to watch the transformation.
Specific praise triggers real dopamine and makes people associate that good feeling with you personally. In English, it shows you're paying close attention, which builds respect and loyalty. That's how influence grows naturally and beautifully over time.
And it costs you nothing but a few thoughtful words. Yet it can completely change how someone sees you and themselves. Try it this week and watch the difference it makes in every conversation.
I love that one so much. Now we're moving to a pattern that shows real emotional intelligence and care.
Here's one that secretly levels up your conversations. Meet the reflective listener. This is where you show you're truly understanding the other person on a deeper level.
You reflect back what they've said with clear phrases like, "It sounds like that situation really frustrated you." Or, "So what I'm hearing is you want more flexibility in how you work. Am I getting that right?" It makes them feel deeply heard and respected.
I used this in a tricky negotiation once. The other person was getting heated about deadlines, and I reflected back their concern calmly. Suddenly the tension dropped and they said, "Yes, exactly, thank you for understanding." We found a solution in minutes after that moment.
People don't always want advice or solutions right away. They want to feel understood first and foremost. When you reflect in clear English, it creates this profound sense of connection. And they start seeing you as someone they can trust and confide in completely.
It's one of the fastest ways to build influence because it shows emotional maturity and care. And it works in every language, but especially beautifully in English when you get the tone and phrasing just right.
Perfect. Now we're on to a pattern that inspires action and genuine excitement in others.
Okay, this one might feel a bit bold at first. But it's a game changer for anyone who wants to motivate people. It's called the Vision Igniter, and it helps you paint exciting pictures of the future.
You use future-focused language to inspire and energize. Try saying, "Imagine how much easier your mornings would be if you could speak English confidently in meetings." Or, "Wouldn't it feel amazing if in 6 months you were leading those client calls with ease?" It gets people dreaming and taking action.
I helped a friend with this recently. He was stuck in his career and feeling low about his English progress. I painted a picture of him presenting at an international conference in fluent English, and his eyes lit up instantly. He started taking real steps forward the very next day. It was inspiring to see the change.
Vision igniting works because it connects to people's deepest desires and hopes. In English, it positions you as someone who sees potential in others, and that makes them want to follow your lead naturally. It's subtle but incredibly powerful when used with sincerity.
Just keep it positive and realistic when you use it. You're not making false promises at all. You're helping them see what's possible, and that builds real influence over time in the most wonderful way.
I'm already excited to try that one more often. And finally, we have the pattern that turns one conversation into lasting relationships.
And finally, this last pattern is pure gold once you get the hang of it. It's the relationship nurturer, and it's all about thoughtful follow-ups that show you genuinely care.
Influence isn't built in a single chat, no matter how good it is. You follow up with messages like, "Hey, I saw that article you mentioned last week and it made me think of you." Or, "How did that big presentation go? I've been cheering you on from here." It shows you genuinely care and remember.
I sent a quick message to someone I met at a workshop 2 weeks later, and they replied saying, "Wow, you actually remembered." Most people don't bother at all. We've met for coffee twice since then, and it's become a really valuable connection in my network.
Consistency and thoughtfulness create loyalty that lasts. In English, these small gestures show you're organized and caring, which makes people want to stay connected with you long term. That's how you build a real network of influence that supports you.
It turns casual conversations into meaningful relationships that open doors. And the best part is it only takes a minute or two, but the impact lasts for months or even years in the most rewarding way.
What a fantastic set of patterns we've covered today. Now let's quickly recap so you can start using them straight away in your English conversations.
So remember, we have the curiosity catalyst for asking great questions that make people feel special, the common ground connector for finding shared interests instantly, the vulnerability vault for building trust through honest sharing, the praise power-up for making people feel brilliant with specific compliments, the reflective listener for showing you truly understand, the vision igniter for inspiring action with future pictures, and the relationship nurturer for keeping connections alive with thoughtful follow-ups.
These 7 patterns work together beautifully because they tap into basic human needs that everyone has. People want to feel seen, valued, understood, and inspired in every conversation. When you give them that in your English conversations, you naturally become the person everyone wants to be around and listen to.
Your challenge this week is to pick just one pattern and use it in 3 different conversations, whether at work or socially. Notice how people's energy towards you changes in the most positive way. It's honestly one of the fastest ways to level up your influence and your English confidence at the same time.
And watch out for the biggest trap, which is talking too much about yourself without listening first. Influence is always a two-way street that requires balance. Listen more than you speak and watch the magic happen naturally.
If this episode helped you see how powerful these conversation patterns can be, then give it a big thumbs up right now. It really helps us reach more people who want to speak fluent English with confidence and influence.
And if you want more practical tips like this every single week, then hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. We've got loads more coming up that will help you sound even more natural and persuasive.
Tag a friend in the comments who needs to become a center of influence. Or share this with someone you're helping with their English speaking skills. We love seeing your success stories and hearing how these patterns are changing things for you.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today. We're genuinely excited to see you step into your power as a center of influence in every English conversation you have from now on.
Go out there, use these patterns with confidence, and watch the room start gathering around you. See you in the next episode.
Bye for now, everyone.